Once upon a time, there was no water around, only a valley and a narrow stream, seas on both sides. The valley deepened quietly, and after a long time, seas on both ends mingled. The valley was filled with waters, and I was born, a water necklace connecting continents. You call me the Bosphorus. There is none like me on earth. I have been around for thousands of years, with my fish, birds, forests, and people. A river running between two seas. It is life that I carry over the seas, over the lands. And you, people, you told many stories about me before settling here and growing in number. I do not know if they would ever call me Bos Poros if it were not for your imagination. Let me tell you the story.
Oh, you sleeping beauty. Have you taken your beauty after your father, the river god? But wake up swiftly. Leave your father's house. I wait for you in the meadows before distress surrounds us.
It is me, Io. I had a dream last night. Was it your voice calling my name? Who are you? What is it you wish?
I am the king of gods, Zeus. This was the only way for us to unite. Beautiful Io, here I stand for you to cling.
Oh, Zeus, I am your only wife, Hera, and I shall not tolerate infidelity. I am sure that was a young lady in your arms a moment ago. But now here is a white cow looking at me. Grant it to me as a present, or giant flies shall sting her all over.
That is the story. Zeus turned his lover into a cow to hide her from his jealous wife. But Hera did not give up and sent a gadfly to bother Io constantly. Running away, Io wandered the world and eventually reached here. Legend tells us that lands broke off and the Prince's Islands were formed as Io ran away. And two continents diverged as she passed through my valley on the way to the Caucasus. That's the story of my name, Bos Poros, meaning cow passage. Then you built civilizations. First came the Megarian immigrant Byzas. I recall it was 658 BC. He founded Byzas city. Then you called her with various names. And Darius, How could I forget you? You set the first bridge on these waters by aligning the boats side by side. And then you, Mehmet, the Ottoman Sultan. How ambitious you were to conquer Constantinople. Oh, how you all loved these waters.
I have lived on these waters for thousands of years. I know its stories well. It is as if life had determined that this area was to be the center of the world. This water passage was the final border towards the west for Anatolian civilizations, Genoese merchants, Ottoman raiders and Don Cossacks, but a gate towards distant lands as well. These coasts hosted Byzantine villages 800 years ago, little rural settlements with few households. Then came the Turks, conquering Constantinople, settling on the Baltalimana Bay. The estuary welcomed and sheltered them. But, in fact, the story goes way back. Argonauts looking for the Golden Fleece came to this bay. The clashing blue rocks should have been passed to reach the Black Sea. This passage was protected by two rocks, smashing anything that goes between. Argonauts used the secret which was revealed by King Phineus. Once their ship Argo reached the passage, they let a dove fly between the rocks. Rocks clashed, but the dove escaped swiftly, losing only its tail feathers. The rocks needed to be wide open before snapping shut. Argonauts benefited from that time gap. Once the rocks sprung together, they made it through the crags. Only the stern was splintered while the rocks were clashing again, just like the dove had spared some of her tail feathers. Clashing rocks may be a legend, but the Rumeli Lighthouse Castle is not. There is a reason why it is located here. A defense system was formed in order to control the passages from Bosphorus as of 12th century. The key to Bosphorus and Istanbul belonged to this defense system. Kilios Castle, Ovidia's Tower in Uskumrukoy, Rumelian Castle and the fortress in Rumeli Lighthouse are all complementary pieces of this defense mechanism. The fish and people of Bosphorus migrate together. This geography is full of immigrant tales. People ran away from war, came over from Caucasia and Balkans. The coasts which were inhabited by Greeks sheltered them as well. Muhajir and Koru neighborhoods of Sariyer bears the traces of those old days. Sariyer, Yenikoy, and Rumeli Fortress. They were once little fishing villages. They started to develop in 16th and 17th centuries. And 1800s. Wealthy Greeks and Armenians built their summer houses there. Then followed the summer resorts of the embassies. The seaside residences. These waterfront palaces come to mind firstly, speaking of Bosphorus. They are the architectural masterpieces unique to Bosphorus, each of which presents the legendary view and offers the joy of cool breezes. They first started appearing in the 18th century on these coasts. The outstanding structures were generally duplex or triplex, and had large bay windows instead of balconies, and boathouses, the little piers. The architecture of mansions would change in accordance with the social status of their inhabitants. The traditional colour would be a dark red, known as Ottoman rose. For Istanbul, Belgrade Forest means what Wienerwald means to Vienna, Grunwald means to Berlin, and Boulogne means to Paris. Belgrade Forest serves as the lung of this archaic city, with its old and profound plane trees, with its chestnuts, oaks, lindens, and locusts. This forest has served as a source of lumber and clean water for centuries, which have been crucial for the city. The vital waters of Istanbul would come from Belgrade forests and run through safely in the bosom of the stone, and through weirs and aqueducts it would reach to water gauges, cisterns, and fountains of the city.
I am thousands of years old.
Now we have waters,
And rocks.
stone castles,
A myriad of trees.
purple outskirts.
Scarlet mansions. And
With your culture,
shared history.
beliefs, you,
The people of Bosphorus.
all of you,
Together